So when do we want to go, Nish? Soon?
I mean, like, we can probably wait for 15 minutes. You want to tell a few
We're off,
inappropriate
right? Can I tell
stories right now?
you some
Yeah,
personal stories?
tell that really personal story, please, that you had started.
So I said, it's never itched like that before.
She's never been bothered by it, right?
Right, exactly. Never
Yeah,
complained.
what the heck? Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
Oh my gosh, we're live.
Well, the dog has fleas. That's what I was talking. Whoops, I hit the mute button. Yes, hello.
Why was the peanut butter there in the first place?
Makes everything better. So you telling me about the Dwayne Purvis burger? Anyway,
yeah.
Welcome to the Handsome Hour. Handsome Hour. Anish cracked it. I was talking over it. Sorry, Anish.
It's good though.
The producers tell me it's Handsome Hour 222. I can't believe we've talked about this stuff 222 separate times.
I mean, considering the time length, 222 is very not enough.
It's 400 hours
it's
talking about Purdue football.
Yeah.
Chris immediately says, make Purdue football great again. Kevin in Albuquerque says, trending towards taking Autumn off.
Oh, it's so good.
And we had someone already say, who said that? Good evening. What's trending from Big Time Boiler? Yeah. You guys are all on it. Well,
all on the same page.
You didn't beat us to the joke because it's running across the bottom of your screen.
Yep.
Handsome Hour is trending towards talking about Purdue football. I guess we should talk about the fact that they lost last Friday night, but that's so long ago. That feels like it was kind of nice, right? Getting it out of the way before the college football really got started.
It was great.
Be done with this.
Basketball puts you in a good mood, even though it was like kind of a boring game, but it still puts you in a good mood.
And it was on at noon. It was like kind of the normal football time. It's like, you know what? Let's just do this.
We should just replace this.
Let's have football play on Tuesday nights at 9:00, and let's have basketball at noon on Saturdays. Is that too much to ask?
Build the whole plane out of the black box. Just build every Purdue football.
How about Matt Painter takes over as football coach?
I say just alternate broadcasts of basketball and volleyball in the slot of the football times. I think that might bring more revenue. Sure. Because I'm being told that revenue is a problem.
Well, I mean,
it's a big problem, and it's not just a problem. How do you navigate these waters with this little money that they have?
Well, you're not being directly told that. It's sort of being like hinted around, right? No one's actually coming out and saying that.
No one is.
Well, we can talk about what we're being directly or not directly told at all. In a second. I do think that it's worth talking about the Michigan State game only because I think Boiler Dowd put up in the post game. You said something which was if the whole season kind of looked like this, or maybe this was the GBI guys, which was like if the whole season looked like the second half and we had the same record, like it's like
it's better.
Again, it's better, and it's that
you should still be talking about the potential of letting go.
If the whole season looked like that, though, you wouldn't have only one win because you would have you'd get a break here and there, right? It would have happened. Like you wouldn't be 1-10. Like if you played every game like that or most games like that. I mean, Anish, I know you were about to get in on the Michigan State game, but it makes me think of something I did want to ask you guys. Seriously, like if the season looks like it does, don't change anything except say they get the 2-point conversion and beat Illinois. Say they win in overtime against Northwestern, very, very possible. And let's say they won Friday night, okay? And they're at 4 wins. But everything else looks the same. Now, you'd probably be talking yourself into the fact that, well, they got blown out by like the top 4 teams in the country.
Mm-hmm. Right. So
you'd feel better, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think it's much different, though. I don't think it's much different. I think what they've done is leave no doubt. They've given you nothing to cling on to.
Because again, the style, the way they've lost. That's
right.
Again, over and over.
Always. Every way.
Talking about it like it was stacked early in the season. When Braum dropped games early in the season, you knew that we would win some games later in the season that we had no business winning. Right. But when you lose to Oregon State, when you lose, when you drop both of those opportunities against a very vulnerable Wisconsin team and a very mediocre Nebraska team, like
man, you're not even talking about the ones that could have won. You're talking about
exactly.
You're exactly right. You're exactly right.
But it's like and then you put on top of that Illinois and Northwestern and Michigan State. Like, it shows first that, that Boiler Dad was talking about in the quick cast, like, there is talent on this team. This is the thing that we've been talking about, is that this team, the players are talented, and the thing that is alluded to in the title here is that, man, was it fun to see them fight. Even the coaching staff. Like, that's the thing, is that the one thing that was annoying about the Darrell Hazel era was that there was no indications that the head coach really cared. You know what I mean?
Right.
And it was 4 years of this, and there was no, like, I can't really explain to people that didn't experience it, like, the level of apathy that set in during those 4 years was just so bad. What was nice is that the players, the Walters, the assistant coaches, it does seem like in that second half they wanted it, and that sucks. They do seem like, I don't know. It sucks,
Jay,
but this is about time.
Did we remember we used to have players for basketball and football on every now and again.
Right.
Is that, I think it was Hazel's era when we had that guy on, and he said, I don't want to call him out because I think it's one of the dumbest things I've ever heard any athlete ever say. When he said, yeah, there's some games you just know we're not going to win today.
That stuck with you. That has stuck with you.
Oh my gosh. You know how my memory is, but that is so.
It's bothered you so badly.
Oh, it bothers me to the middle because I just know the way most guys that I know that are competitors think, and that is so far from it. To just say, yeah, we're not going to, there's no way we're competing today. That's craziness. And that's an indicator of that apathy being everywhere. Just, I said this, here's one real valid, big memory. Another way you look at that apathy, that Ohio game when Brom first came there, how few people were at that game. That is one of those that the athletic department needs to look at that specifically. Not even during the Hazel era. It's what Brom had to inherit after the Hazel era, because so many people had, this is what I said, changed their habits.
Well, you look back and that makes sure how critical that game was, right? If they go into that and they lose that game to not a bad Ohio game with old man Solich and everything.
No, they're coming off a bowl. That's a bowl team. That's a bowl team.
Right. Right. So like you lose that game, everyone's like, this is just like that time they went to Cincinnati and got crushed by Northern Illinois at home. Like, so man, it just shows you how, and it came back. Fan support came back because they earned it. The players, 8-9 win seasons, and they earned it all back. And that culminated. The difference now is that it carried over, and it's given you 2 years. I mean, they average almost 60,000 fans in Ross-Ade this year, just under 59.9, I think it was. And that place only holds like 60, right? 61 now, something like that.
I think that is being taken for granted so much right now. I mean, like to such a high level.
Years or something. No, highest in like 16 years. It was like highest since like 06 or something.
Right. I remember things were so bad. Jay and I used to talk about this. We'd see an old clip of a Drew Brees game, and I'd say, like, I can't even remember what it was like to be in a stadium like that.
When you couldn't see Purdue in the horseshoe.
Yeah. And it was just like, oh my gosh, everyone's cheering all the time. Like, guess what? That's what Purdue does now, right? But boy, you have anger now, right now. If we're looking at the grieving process, the incredible amount of anger at just these ideas being floated is wild.
You know what it is? It's because, and you've talked about Purdue fans being generally fairly smart people. You've talked about this in the past. Like, you don't logical dingbats from Columbus who become Purdue fans, right? It's people who went to Purdue. It's people who studied there. It's people, and you've.
That's why Dylan is such a weird guy, right?
Well, I remember you making this point that they're analytical, they're smart. And you know what this is? When you insult people who aren't stupid, like when you treat them like they're stupid, you're going to get a bad reaction. You're going to get and there's very few people going, well, they probably have a plan, everyone. Like, you don't hear anyone saying that. Well,
there's somebody in our margin saying that. And I'm surprised we're having any of those in this show. But I will say I don't want to, Big Time Boiler and I were having a little back and forth on the DMs on Twitter, and he and I both feel that way, that we're like, okay, you guys either lied to us or we were fooled. Regardless, we don't feel real great about what was sold to us versus where things actually are right now. Mm-hmm. I mean, like, I feel I've said it over and over, and I can't express it how much of a fool I feel like, because I'm like, you guys heard me talk about in the summer. By the way, here's the thing, and these guys have dealt with me for years saying this. Jay's been dealing with it for longer, but I am seriously thinking about being done with this. And it is not a joke because
be specific. Done with what? Done with
you.
what?
Done with you.
No. Are you talking about going to football games or are you talking about the podcast, the show?
I'm talking about everything right now.
Just ending it. Just
the whole thing.
I'm just going to
No, the podcast, like the thing I love about the podcast. Look, here's one thing. And it's not that
therapy. You'd have to pay for therapy otherwise.
I don't know what I'd do. Well, it's the thing. There are things I'm number one. I've said I am out and I know people, I'm a fair weather fan and they can shove that up there, whatever.
That's the best insult. 222 answer.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm a fair weather fan, and I will not.
Town a couple years ago.
I want this to be taken back, and I do think there are people that monitor this show and shows like this that are from the athletic department. I want them to understand. I've been a season ticket holder since the beginning of the Braum era, and before that, we were still getting tickets.
Yeah, weren't you?
No, we stopped during Hazel.
You were always there during the terrible time.
I know. I was always there, and that's the thing. My stake in the ground will be I'll go to the secondary market and I'll find these tickets cheap because I want to be there. That's the thing. I'm a sicko, but I don't feel nearly as bad about the whole thing when I'm like, okay, number one, my son's there. My son and my nephew are at Purdue, and so like I'm gonna be there on campus on Saturdays. Will I pay full season ticket price? No, I won't. Not if they bring back Walters. And I know I'm not alone because I've been listening and watching threads. You guys have talked about this. I don't know where you stand. That's my line in the sand. I can't do this again because I think the big thing, it's not so much that will I go to the games? Yeah, I'll go to the games. And then I'll just say, okay, here's another Saturday where I feel enraged. I probably should leave the stadium because I just shouldn't be here. And so if I've invested all the money at a real at real face value, or how about this? If you guys invested airfare or a 9-hour, 10-hour drive, you feel worse about it. Again, you feel duped. This is not something that I take easily about this.
I did the math, man. When I came out for Oregon, I estimated it as a $2,000 weekend.
My gosh.
Yeah.
Flying 3 of us out, staying there for the weekend, going to the game, renting a car, all the things I did. And I'm not saying that to throw anything around at all. I just, it's not an insignificant thing. Now, if it's just me, it's cheaper, but then why even come?
But this is the thought process behind it. And that's the other thing is that like there is a lesson there in seeing like Boiler just looking in the last decade or 15 years and seeing Boiler Dad's track record of when he bought season tickets and when he didn't. Because I think the attendance record is about the same. You know, maybe not the same because like maybe it was a lot more during the Braum like era and now during the Walters era.
He was there.
But
it's crazy.
But to me, it makes sense that, hey, towards the end of the Tiller era, you kept it. Through the Hope era, you kept it, but it was waning. And then it was a no-brainer to cancel during the Hazel era.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then...
Well, and I'm not alone. That's the other thing is our block just shrunk and shrunk and shrunk, right? So it went from 8 to 6 to 4 to 2. And then those 2, it was my younger brother and my dad. They held on for 1 extra year. And I was getting tickets from generous Boiled Sports listeners like, I'm not coming. I'm like, okay, I'll take them. And I'd take them. And then I'd get one good game a year, right? Where you're like, okay, that wasn't too bad. You wouldn't leave the stadium just wanting to punch someone when you leave the gates.
So, all right. So I kind of want to just address this just because I feel like it right now. How badly is IU going to beat Purdue?
Oh, the bucket game.
It's so like 49 points.
Holding them down and just back and forth.
Currently, the spread, I think, is 30.5.
Oh, is it that much?
Why so low?
I saw it was like 25.
It went up a touchdown, right?
It's increased. I think that I take IU because Cignetti, that we have seen this. We have seen the kind of coach that Cignetti is. And this is, again, at the beginning of the year, not a fan of him. I'm still not quite a fan of like, you know what I mean? I like
he's
Tom
douchey.
Allen.
He's douchey.
I like Tom Allen
he's earned it.
personally. Right. That being said, absolutely, yes, he's earned it.
Right.
I mean, like, after all of this, the Google me, I win. Yeah, you're right.
Turns out you do.
Turns out he was right. And so it's like he is going to turn the screws on Purdue, and especially now when style points
It's
really
exactly.
count.
It's every factor, Anish. They need to win big. It's the bucket game. He knows it matters to alums.
Yeah.
He knows Purdue mocks IU. He knows Purdue has won 4 in a row, I think, in this. Like, man, there's so many reasons that they are going to just dump truck Purdue. And I said to you guys,
funny? Do you guys think this is funny? And I was thinking about this today.
Kinda.
Remember, I think this is wild. Remember the BCS, the one thing they said, remember they took the point differential and threw it out. They were like, okay, that doesn't matter. Do not run the score up on people, right? Well, now, because it's more people, they're like, run the score up because it makes you look different. IU and Signetti know that.
Of course they do. And now that they lost, they have to.
Oh
they
my
have
gosh.
to do everything they can do because they're not playing the Big Ten title game. This is it.
Yeah.
If you want to
Yeah.
make the
What was
playoff,
it,
and when are they
Bam?
ever going to get a chance to make the playoff again?
How
This is
many top 10 teams lost, or how many top 15 teams lost last week too? And so the IU's loss doesn't push
They're
them
still
out
in
of
it.
the playoff.
Right. Oh, they're still in it. Yeah.
And so they need to clobber Purdue. And I keep saying, I've alluded to this. One of my favorite Purdue football memories, I was a sophomore during Joe Tiller's last year. The last Joe Tiller game was a home game, the bucket game against IU, 62-10.
Yeah. And that was a bad Purdue team.
Oh, it was mediocre Purdue team, a bad Purdue season. But that was the game where it was like, oh, like Cowboy Joe is still there. Cowboy Joe is still in there somewhere. And it was so good. It was so perfect. It was such a great send-off.
He put up 60 on IU more than once.
That's the EDSBS guys all do like the annual drive for New American Pathways, and they say donate a number of your choice based on, and I always do $62.10. That's the amount that I donate. IU fans are going to have their amount this week.
Only they're going to be donating more than you do.
They're going to be donating in the 70s, I think.
Guys, I'm not kidding. Like I said to you guys like a month ago, that when Purdue had left Oregon, I guess Ohio State and Penn State and IU, and I said, I think IU is going to beat Purdue the worst of all of those teams. And I still stand by that. Because what was Ohio State, 45-0? IU's going to I'd be shocked if they don't put up 50.
No, Notre Dame game was 66.
No. Remaining at that time.
Oh, okay.
I said what they had left.
I just didn't know if you'd forgotten that game. I wanted to remind you.
No, I was there.
Oh, yeah.
My son brought up the young student we saw vomiting and falling on her face in front of the house as a harbinger of things to come.
Yeah.
That was a analogous to Purdue's season right there.
Turns out
first you throw up and then you fall in the throw up. And everyone's watching you and they're not laughing. They're just kind of like, oh, this is sad.
I think I said this to you guys in our chat, but I'll say this on the podcast too.
Yeah.
Purdue has had since 1942, which I think we can agree encompasses the modern age and beyond. They've had 2 1-win football seasons. Can you name those 2 1-win football seasons?
Yeah.
2013.
Okay. One's easy.
Obviously.
Well, the one's easier for me is the one my freshman year. That's the easiest.
I was going to say, was it 94?
Nope, that was
93.
93. I wanted to say 93 and I didn't.
Yeah.
I changed it at the last second. Okay, I knew it was somewhere around.
Okay, now what's the interesting parallel with 2013? Who did they beat that year?
Indiana State.
ISU.
Indiana State. Now, let's just check Boiler Dow's memory banks. 1993, they had 1 win. Who did they beat that year?
Oh, this is a good one. Naming dudes.
I don't think you're going to get this one.
I don't either.
This is not one of the typical, like...
Okay, were they in the MAC?
Wait a minute. Let me find... Yes, they are in the MAC.
Okay. I'm going to say, no, I've not looked. So here's the thing. The next year, your freshman year, I don't know if you were at that game with me and my girlfriend at the time, right? They beat the hell out of a MAC team in a night game, which was a lot of fun.
That was my first experience at Purdue. Was a night game when they put up over 50 points, and I was like,
yes, they rolled in the light trucks. Morgie paid for the light trucks.
This must be how it always is.
This is how it always. It's always fun. There were even fireworks. Remember at the end there were fireworks.
They started 4-1 in '94, and I was like, "This is amazing.
This is great. I love Purdue." You probably came to a game in your senior weekend, didn't you? Did you come in the fall of your senior?
I came in the spring. I was there. We've had this conversation. I was there the night that they advanced to the Elite Eight.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, that's fun. That's great. Yeah. That's a great memory. I'm going to say it was Western Michigan.
Oh my God, he nails it.
Boom.
For real?
Yes. They beat Western Michigan 28-13 in front of 57,000 fans.
Wow.
And then the next week had 68,000 people in the stadium the next week to play number 4 Notre Dame and lost 17-0, which isn't that bad. And the thing that's interesting about that year, you talk about 1-win seasons. They lost. That was the year they lost at Minnesota, 59-56, which is amazing. They lost to number 16 Wisconsin, 42-28. They lost to number 3 Ohio State, 45-24.
That Wisconsin score one time. I'll tell you why that one was significant.
42-28.
Okay, so that game. So I didn't leave games early ever as a student, except for that game. That's the only game I think I left early.
Of course.
And I came back. I came back.
You came back to the game. Why?
And I don't want to call out. I was mad. The Purdue's quarterback sucked. Okay, I know his name. I can remember all that. I can tell you who it was.
I know,
but I don't like doing that. I don't like. But I was a student then, so I feel in my memory for some reason it's okay for me to do it. As an adult, it feels worse to. I don't know why. But he's older than me. I mean, I think he was a junior. Right. I can tell you his name. I mean, I know who it is. But the reason I came back was he hurt his shoulder, and they pulled him.
And so you came back because you thought now
I came back to watch him not play.
Well,
and my college roommate went on. He was not my roommate yet. We were really good buddies, and we lived together the next year. He went on one of the worst cursing tirades I have ever been around, watching that quarterback throw another dumbass interception. Because the decisions, you're like, everything was so slow developing. He'd look, here it comes. Oh my gosh, man. And then he scrambled and he goes out of bounds. I want to say it was the old Purdue sideline, which is the sunny side of the stadium. And if you guys remember seeing the Olympics this year, the break dancer from Australia?
Yes.
That's what he looked like. He was doing a little thing with his feet and kind of doing circles because he got hit on his shoulder. And I think he broke his clavicle or something like that. And so we were in Cary watching it, and we're like, let's go. And we went back to the stadium, and they let us back in. This is when they didn't care that we just went back. I don't even know if they checked our tickets on the way back in because everybody left.
Well,
everybody left on one of his interceptions.
It was 68,000 there for Notre Dame. There was 38,000 there for Wisconsin.
I know. It happens fast.
So exactly. And by the time you were coming back in, there was probably 18,000 there.
Right. And so this is the funny thing. My dad, I grew up a Purdue fan. My dad's a Purdue alum. And we used to come up. My dad knew that at certain times you could come up and there was not going to be anybody at the gate checking you. So you could just walk right in. That's in the Akers era. I got in an argument with my brother about Akers today, by the way. This is great. Because I remember I called in the Akers show. I was in like 5th or 6th grade.
Oh, I've heard this story too. It's so good.
I was excited about it. But the whole thing, so the whole thing about Akers, I looked through Akers and I'm like, wow, okay, Akers is like, it's exciting. I know his name. I was a young guy, right? My dad was excited about it. But Akers had a cloud over his head because Texas was currently under NCAA investigation. And he was involved in that because they gave improper benefits to players. Okay. What? Yeah. They're like, okay, great. Splashy hire. So the whole argument with my brother today, it was bizarre, but I think we're both angry. This reminds me of being mad at people on Twitter that you like, or you're like during a game where it's really bad and you're like, this guy's an asshole, but it's like somebody that I really like. Like if it were Fairweather Greg McManus, like I'd be telling him how much of a soft fan he was because he hasn't gone to enough games this year coming from Nebraska. I would not do that.
It's not that far. Come on.
Exactly. Come on, man. Get in your car, you loser. Where do you live? I live in Indianapolis area.
I make it no problem.
Yeah, it's no problem for me. Fairweather Greg McManus. But that's the whole thing. There are some people, this is the really lousy thing, and we've all talked about this. When everybody's stressed out and angry on Twitter, and Twitter's designed to make you more stressed out and angry, then you start lashing out at each other. It's like we're in a pit of vipers, and we're all just striking at each other.
From the BS Analytics desk, for the upcoming IU loss, in addition to 2013 and 1993, Purdue football has lost 10 games, a double-digit amount of games,
This is
only
amazing.
3 times in its history. Can you name the other one? I don't know if, J Money, you saw this already.
Oh, 3 times going other than this year.
No, so other than this year, 3 times, yes.
So so 93 and 13 are the 2. And then no. I mean, because it would have to be
14?
No. They
50.
went 2. Oh, did they go to? They did.
50.
They did. They had a 2 and 10 year under Hazel.
Debate Indiana State and Illinois?
Yes, you are correct. Oh no, Nebraska. That was the Nebraska year.
That was the year they hung
So
55
close.
on Nebraska out of nowhere.
So close. That was the random number generator game.
I still love that game.
Yeah, that one was so dumb.
Because they were up so
It's the
much. And
dumbest
Nebraska
game.
scored, I want to say, like 3 touchdowns in the 4th. And I was like, and it was 55-45. And you're like, oh, if there's another 4 minutes in this game, they're going to lose. Like, I'm serious. Look back at that box score. It went from up 30 or 40 points to like 10. And you're like, like that was, he had, I think 3 Big Ten wins. He beat Illinois twice and Wisconsin, Nebraska once.
That's it. Oh, hey, can we use this as a segue real quick? And I want to.
Well, so actually,
okay.
What I want to do is underscore.
Okay.
I think you brought this up earlier, but somebody brought it up earlier. This will be the first 10-loss streak in Purdue's history.
Oh, 10 straight losses.
Oh my gosh! Wow.
There have only been 3 seasons with double-digit wins, and so this is the only season where it will be a 10-loss streak.
Wow. So it's already the record's set.
No,
they've lost 9.
We got to lose to IU.
Oh no, they've lost 10. No,
they lost 10. So this will be on the 11, right?
You're right. We did already set.
Yeah, we did it.
We did it, guys. Everybody, congratulations. Everyone's here. Wow, we all did it together. Even fair weather, Greg McManus.
Their last win, everyone, was August.
This is like the Big Ten only realizing midway through last week that Oregon had already clinched a
that was
spot
so great.
in there.
And on Tuesday, they're like, "Congrats to Oregon, you clinched!" like they did something that day. Like,
it's so stupid.
It's so idiotic. Man. The whole thing is so dumb. I will just say again, because I have to say every chance I get, having a conference championship between your number 1 and number 2 teams is moronic. You already have someone who won the conference. You don't need, and now that you have a playoff, you don't need to have these. Do you guys realize you could win?
It's all TV revenue.
You could win a national championship this year, and you'd have to play 17 games because you play 12 regular season, a conference championship, and then 4 games to win the 17 games. You're playing an NFL schedule.
I think what they want it to be, they want this to be the conference championship to be like, okay, hey, there's so many good teams that this conference championship, you may only get 1 in this year, right?
Yeah.
So.
Oh, it will have that effect because winning the conference championship gets you a top 4 seed if you're one of the big conferences, right? So they did that to still have value to it, and I will give them that. It still matters, which is good.
Who's playing in the MAC championship? Because I'm sure they're in the running, right?
I think Toledo and who's having a good year in the MAC? Is it a directional?
I really have no idea. Nobody's good enough for it to be a story this year, right? And every year, well, every 4th year in the MAC, there's a team that comes up and dips their toe in the top 25, right? And they're like, whoa.
It was Northern Illinois a few times.
Right.
It was
right.
Right now you've got Miami of Ohio, Ohio, and Bowling Green are all 6-1.
Man.
Wow. Oh, so Toledo's not even
all 6-4.
Wow.
6-1 in the MAC.
6-1. Okay.
6-1 in the MAC, and Toledo's 4-3 overall. So they've got the same better overall record as those teams, but
that's what it was. Okay.
Yeah. So,
I don't understand why. At the very least, the Big Ten and the SEC title games aren't a part of the playoff. Like, instead of arguing for more guaranteed spots, just make that game
just like a play-in game.
Yeah,
it is essentially.
Or
but what it doesn't make any sense to knock one of those teams out right away, right? It's almost like you need to make it number 3 and 4, and that's the game that takes place.
Yeah.
So that's the one.
Listen to this guy, big conference guy over here.
Oh, dude, that's the funny thing about this conference thing, right? Is shouldn't the SEC, when one of them lose, shouldn't they just be like, it's okay because conference. Yay, we're still gonna send that team over there. So we don't care about losing a 3rd game. We're Alabama. Because we conference SEC, we chant the whole thing, right? Shouldn't they be happy about that?
The next time we have a Boiled Sports Summit at Ross 8 or one of these many road venues that we workshopped last week, I'm going to buy us all matching sets of Big Ten hats so that we can just sit there like Rob Lowe.
Yeah, I like it.
Oh, I can't wait.
Like Rob Lowe in the NFL hat.
Exactly.
Just so we sit there just stoically watching.
Like,
yay, and cheering for everything that happens.
If we went to like an App State Marshall game and we were wearing 4 Big Ten hats, like
just want to let you guys know where we're here. We're slumming it. We're here to it doesn't matter how many times we talk about it. It's so stupid. Like those morons
You're a genius.
would be cheering for IU to make the playoff. Like
I have to admit, I was in the same boat as Boiler Dad this weekend. I was rooting for. I think all of us were kind of rooting for IU.
I don't know how you can root for Ohio State to win the conference.
Okay, I don't think it's rooting for one of them. I think it's I will always.
But you're saying that choice doesn't have to.
There's a funny outcome either way.
I agree.
Either IU gets it in the teeth, which they did, and I always enjoy that, no matter the scenario. Or if Ohio State lost to Indiana, seeing moronic Ohio State fans, which I think deserves another mention here. Ryan Day is a steamroller of a coach, and if his player at Oregon, at the number 1 team in the country, slides a second earlier on the last play of the game, and they get the field goal up, they probably win. They probably win that game because I think they lost by a point, right? A point at Oregon, and they would be 11-0 right now, about to be 12-0, and yet they want to run him out of town because he loses 1 game a year.
That's wild.
It's so
like
good.
You are such morons, and he should leave now, shouldn't he? Shouldn't he take a great job
to me though, Ohio. See this.
You think that's the best job?
I think Ohio State is the best job in college.
But they have
football.
Decided they don't need him. They think they're better than him.
They do.
So,
they think
they're not.
If you look at Ohio State's football history, I don't think they've ever had a truly bad season. Ever.
Stretch.
No season.
They've had bad season.
The Fickle season, they were like
6-6. That's not a bad season.
No, I agree. No shit. Yeah.
Yeah, but Alabama, LSU, Georgia, USC, Texas, Michigan, all of these teams go through not just seasons but streaks. Ohio State, if you look, they have never had like a truly bad season, and so those fans deserve it. I do think that this is your Brian Kelly corollary, Jay. This is one of your best theorems.
Something funny is going to happen either way.
Something funny is going to happen either way.
and we're getting it at LSU, right? He's just good enough that like a sane program probably wouldn't fire him, right? Because he's in a tough, all jokes aside, he's in the SEC, and they're 7-4. They're gonna, and this is a down year for them, right? He's really good. Last couple of years, he's been like 9-10 wins, which is what he does, and they're gonna run him out of town, and it's so funny. It's so great. Because where's he going next? He's got to be done. It's a lot.
$1.5 billion.
It's a lot. I remember looking it up once. It's a lot of money.
Yeah, they're keeping him for another year, but yeah, at least.
You think they're keeping him?
Oh yeah,
no doubt.
Think so.
No doubt. Yeah.
Really?
Great. I think they're going to keep him, but I think the fans are done.
Yeah. Oh yeah, but they're LSU.
But they know, right? Their fans aren't going to stop coming.
No. LSU.
So, Jay, can we talk about something? We had a good segue a minute ago, and Anish kept going.
My bad.
Awesome
my
points.
bad.
No, it was good. It was funny. It was worth it.
Yeah.
It was worth it. The Big Ten hats was worth it. But I think in the best interest of being a big conference guy, somebody won this last weekend from the beloved Big Ten, and we've been waiting for this win a long time. You have specifically, been waiting for 8 or 9 games for this win. And I thought maybe you could talk a little bit about your friends in Lincoln clinching a bowl berth.
Whee! Yeah, 6-5, baby.
Great, yeah.
And they have Iowa left, so it's very possible they'll be 6-6. And like, how the mighty programs have fallen is what I put on Twitter.
Yeah,
like,
it's great.
Like, this was a place that ran out Bo Pelini for winning 9.5 games a year, and I say 9.5 because everyone jokes about him winning 9. He won 10 a couple times.
Yeah,
he never won fewer than 9. Never fewer.
It's crazy.
They ran Frank Solich out because he wasn't Tom Osborne, and he was winning like 11 games a year.
Yeah.
And then they ran out Mike Riley, who won 9. who won 9. He's the last one to win 9. He's also
Is that right?
Yes, he's also the
Gosh,
last
darn
one
it.
to go to a bowl game. Mike Riley was the coach the last time they went to a bowl game. How
So
about
good.
that? So great job, Matt Rule. You might have 7 wins this year. Maybe.
And like we've said before, Jay has no issues with Matt Rule. This isn't about Matt Rule.
Matt Rule's a good
It's about
coach.
Nebraska's fans understanding
But
what they've done.
They've already begun to turn on him. And that's funny to me too, because you get what you, as much as I don't have a problem with Rule, if you get into bed with those clowns, like this isn't about Anish, letting Anish play with the headlines. The only thing worse than would be if Boiler Dad was playing with that, because
I think if any of us were in charge of this, we're all equal morons.
Yeah.
Like
I'm the most.
The fact though that they were that they're writing things about it. Some guy, there's that one guy McKeon, I think, that I follow, who writes about Nebraska, and he clearly had something chambered, a story about Matt Rule turning things around, and he had it loaded, man, locked and loaded. And when they won that 6th game, it was like it was set to auto post when they win 6 games, because it was this whole thing about Matt Rule has changed the culture. Has he though? Because they were 5-1. And now they're 6-5.
Is that the change Nebraska wanted? That they're happy with the 6th win?
The change is going back to a bowl game. You're going to be, congrats, you're going to be in Yankee Stadium in December.
Hey, they could also be, there's tons of good locations. There's no way they can get to Boise, right? Not with that. Not out of the
I don't
Big
think the Big
Ten.
Ten goes, do they?
No, they don't. Let's think. I
I
don't even know. San Antonio is not a tie-in at all anymore.
No,
I'm just talking about the exotic locales.
It's Music City. Could be
No, they won't be. They won't be that. They
I
won't.
mean,
what's
a
it?
season?
That's like an 8 or 9 win
like,
team.
why,
right?
why can't we do New York City, the big city?
It could be New York City. I just want to think of another crappy location for them to go to. I know Nebraska travels.
Motor City.
There we go. Now we're talking, right?
What's it called? The Big Daddy
Detroit or New York in December? Yeah, boy.
Big
New
Daddy
York's
Motor
worse because
special.
you have to be outside.
Yes,
Detroit
it's
is
much
in
worse.
Ford Field, which is pretty good.
It'll never stop being funny the year that we played Central Michigan 3 times, or Northern Illinois, or whatever it was.
3 times in a calendar year, twice in a season.
It's
right?
It's my favorite. That was my favorite, like, bowls are dumb thing that has ever happened.
And every one of them, Dan Lefevre, it was like a shootout every time. It was like 51-48 in the bowl game.
Lefevre 3.
Whenever we're naming dudes, this is the reason that Dan Lefevre will always come up.
Exactly.
It's so good. That sounds a weekly.
Remember going to
Do you guys know that Lefevre's French for the fever?
So stupid.
If you know that.
I've got Lefevre, and the only prescription is more points.
At least in the 40s.
What's the one in the Bahamas? Greg asks. I don't know. What is that? Boca? No, that's not the Boca Raton.
Is it the Bahamas Bowl?
It's the Bahamas Bowl. I think it is, actually.
Yeah, it's very clever. All bowls should be named such.
Yeah, so I think now we can go to the angst that is getting everybody angry. I think this is where we can start to get it unleashed, and this is kind of where a little bit of, because I was in charge of the title today, and this is a little bit sharper than I would usually make it. So the only reason I'm doing this, so the title of this stream is that Purdue players, have fight. Like it was supposed to signal that Purdue players fight, Purdue players have emotion, Purdue players are in this to win and in this for, like for all of the fans that are there. But it's not clear that administration is. And it's because the last 2 weeks or 3 weeks of reporting on the state of this program, the Purdue football program, the amount of money that's being available, the amount of budget that is there, whether Walters will be back or not, whether he'll have a full new coordinators, whether Brian Brom is going to come back as the offensive coordinator because of Mike Babinski's retirement calendar. All of these things are there. And I think it is all through a little bit of a trial balloon just to see how the fans will react. And so, fans, J Money, Boiler Dowd, react, please.
So here's the thing. Jay and Anish both told me that I needed to, just save it for the show, they said, as I was cursing and angry for an hour straight. Was that fair?
You were pretty mad. Yeah.
I was pretty mad. And you know what? It's the same thing that happened 2 weeks ago when they released this garbage. Okay. The good news is I was so, you guys know I was close to just getting on and doing a nice, solid, a real quick cast, just like 75 to 90 minutes of me just ranting.
Just a tidy 90 minutes.
A tidy quick cast. I was so angry. And I cooled way down. How
angry were you?
No, I just can't even get my head around why it makes me that irrationally angry. Like it made me nuts 2 weeks ago, and they did the same crap again. But let's break this down.
Yes. What makes you angry?
Let's break this down real quickly. Okay.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can find this. Okay. Pete, what's it? Nako? Is that his name?
Sure.
I gotta find this quote because this is fun. Before the Michigan State game, I just want to make sure I got it right. That's why.
Okay.
Yeah, it's important. It's really important job to watch. Okay, Ryan Walters. Okay, before the Michigan State game, Pete. I just want to make sure I get that guy's name because I want to. Pete Nakos. He's a young guy. Young guy's finding his way in journalism. Jobs to watch. Purdue Boilermakers have dropped 10 consecutive games. Don't have a win over an FBS opponent. Who cares, right? That's what I say. In what was described as a huge game for Walters, Purdue lost 24-17. Okay. He called it a huge game. His post called it a huge game. And this is the thing. I've got this weird, I don't know about you guys are getting dizzy from the quoting. It's all on three. So it's Tom Dienert and Pete Nakos kind of quoting each other to us. Is that all we're getting?
Yeah, it's my favorite. It's my favorite part of this because Jay Money and I especially love the journalism, like the inside journalism kind of part of this. So Pete Nakos has heard it from a source within or close to the Purdue athletic department.
Yes,
that there is a good chance that maybe Ryan Walters
is trending.
It's trending towards being kept.
Yeah.
Wait, hold on. Was there a maybe and a possibly in there? Possibly maybe
trending towards being kept for the 2025 season. And that report of a rumor or something being said around the program about trending towards has been confirmed.
That's my favorite right there.
By Tom Dienert.
It's been confirmed. What was confirmed?
So I don't understand.
That he might come back and might not.
Like, exactly. What are we doing?
Those are the options.
Like, even when you have an anonymous source, like, first you need kind of a double source, like typically on this, and then you
that's what you're supposed to do in journalism.
And then you usually say, oh, there's my favorite. There's a rant that I have here from, from the football world that I could go on, but I'm going to stay focused here. It doesn't make sense.
Like a laser.
To do this, exactly. It doesn't make sense to talk about the whispers around the program. That's what we do.
Exactly.
That's what we're here for.
Reaction.
That role is taken.
Yes.
Like, why?
Goodness.
Can we get some quotes? Can we get it from inside the athletic
If only
department?
you guys talked to people within the program and were at every press conference and talked to people outside the practice. How about somebody ask Walters directly? Have you been told you're coming back next year? I know people have come down on me for acting like you can't hold the media accountable. And I'm not trying to play the Eastern elite card here. However, I've grown up.
You will play it. You don't have a problem.
No.
Yeah.
I've grown up with the New York media where if someone's job is being questioned, they don't hesitate. And it's not an aggressive in your face. Some of them are, but a lot of times it's just like, hey, coach, any comment on the rumors that your job is in jeopardy? Do you have confidence you're coming back next year? They do it all the time. And it's completely reasonable because it would give the coach the chance to say, I feel pretty good, or we have to win in order for me to come back. Or the guys would get defensive and pissy because they get asked that. But whatever it is, at least let's see what he says. Let's try it.
So let's be analytical for a second, shall we? So Michigan State game was a huge game for Ryan Walters' future and his tenure at Purdue. That's by our friends on 3.
Right.
The NACO Shark. That's what we're going to call him. Okay. Then Purdue they come back from a hole they dug, and they get all the way back to almost tying the game. 24-7 or 24-17, right? All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they lose by 7.
Right.
And that was big enough in this huge game That was what we needed.
I like that you said they overcame the hole that Purdue overcame themselves.
They overcame themselves to get there, and Michigan State was completely gassed like they are every game. And Purdue gets to within 7, and that's enough because now we can switch our talk to we're down to 3 offensive coordinator candidates. That's what's happening. Defensive coordinators changing, offensive coordinators changing. Happy Dales, you're here. Walters did everything he needed to do versus Michigan State. That was what was needed. It was a huge weekend, and he delivered. Right? Is that right? Am I getting this right? Because I just want to make sure I'm understanding everything. Is that right?
The frustrating part of this also is like the offensive coordinators that have been talked to so far.
Give me some of those names, Anish.
It's literally a bit that the 3 of us would do on this show.
Great.
Like
if I named those names and then threw in some made up ones, you wouldn't be able to know which ones were real.
No. Exactly.
Well, let's give 5 then.
Yeah, let's do that. Okay.
That's a fun game.
Okay. Hold on. I'll start.
Yeah.
Let me think of some fake ones, and then I'm going to put them out in any order here. So, okay. So, for coordinator positions, the Purdue is considering potentially reaching out to names that have been floated. I don't know what they've done. Kevin Sumlin.
Okay.
Jamarcus Shepard.
Purdue connections. That's a good one.
Jamarcus Shepard. Brock's back.
Again. Oh, man. Purdue connection.
I like this.
Gary Nord.
Oh. And another Purdue connection.
Yeah, I like this. These are good. These are solid.
Brian Brom.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
He coached once.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, Mr. Meister says Anisha's mic is way too quiet. Can't hear him.
I know. That's
by design.
I know exactly.
That's a feature, not a bug.
We actually have planned to make this better too. But
we tried.
Anisha's
very attached to his Guy Smiley mic.
You
guys remember Guy Smiley? He was the Muppet Show announcer.
Yes, yeah.
What a great name, Guy Smiley. Yeah. It's like I want to name someone that. It's a great name. Anyway. So
what if the 2 coordinators next year, Jay?
Mm-hmm.
Would you think Purdue fans? You think this is enough to bring people back? Let's go Drew Brees at offensive coordinator and Kevin Sumlin defensive coordinator.
I love it.
So you get the old school and the new school. I think you get a lot. You get some variance.
I honestly think those 2 are more likely than the 3 names that were actually floated. I'm not kidding.
I know.
Brian Brom, Jamarcus Shepard, and
Jamarcus Shepard.
Jamarcus Shepard is the offensive coordinator of Alabama.
Yeah. Is Freeman on the list by any chance?
I know Marcus Freeman, former assistant, Purdue connection.
He's a coaching tree.
Oh shoot!
It just doesn't make any sense.
No.
Bring Danny Holm back as a line coach.
Yeah. Oh
Dude,
yeah.
I'd take that. By the way,
absolutely.
The offensive line needs help. The offensive line needs a lot of help.
I bet you he'd do it.
He'd do it. He would be happy. He'd be the happiest guy on the coaching staff with his flowing, beautiful hair. By the way, that dude's got locks like Anish and Jay, but just longer. When these guys retire, they're gonna look like Danny Hope. I'm pretty sure.
He has been released from every stress,
stress.
All of the mortal coils that is holding him down.
You know how he did it? $1 million.
He got his buyout. He had his dream job and got his buyout. This
easy peasy.
Carl in the margin says Lovie Smith for DC.
I'm in.
Hey, there's a connection to. Well, not really because they weren't on the same staff, but we can figure that out.
No. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about facts. That's not what we're doing things. We're starting rumors.
So my thing here is like, if we wanted to have a bit that Purdue was looking for offensive coordinators, Brian Brom and Jamarcus Shepard would be the names that we would start out with as a joke.
As a big joke, because you're like, no damn way. Why would Brom? That doesn't make any sense. And I think the idea is right. You've got enough doubt there because they're like, these guys aren't calling the plays. Their coaches are overshadowing them. They want to be out from underneath that umbrella. Come back home, boys. We'll pay you how much? $800,000. Wait a second.
Coordinator. They're both offensive coordinators already.
But they don't. No, you're missing. They don't call plays.
Yeah.
And so they want to go work for a coach who took play calling away from his coordinators and still went 1-11.
And leave Alabama and his brother's program and also his program.
He's an absolute legend. He is a freaking god. Even when things are bad.
Exactly. It's such stupid talk. It's like saying that's like a team saying, "Well, we're going to hire Matt Painter to coach at Illinois."
Yeah,
well, he'll leave Purdue, sure, as an assistant.
Yeah, he's really, really a good basketball mind.
I know he went there, but it doesn't. Yeah, Brian Brom is as much as Jeff Brom is. Like, what are you talking about? Who's that? The fact that was an actual report.
Well, the best thing if you
that's what I mean about insulting. It's stupid.
So the three of the 4 top candidates? I can't remember how it was worded, but I was like, "Come on, Tommy."
Yeah, and the other candidate that they named, I just wanted to check, was Mike Yurcich, who was fired by Penn State.
He doesn't have a job right now.
I think.
Yeah,
so that's the only real one in the group, by the way. So they threw up all the if this is going to happen, if this is the master plan,
correct.
We've already got the guy. It's already a done deal. If this is what we're doing, which is asinine, the economics of these plans, but guess what? That would be pretty cheap. I bet. How much is your Yurcich going to cost?
Oh yeah, I don't know. I mean, the other point of this is that, and Michael brought this up. Michael brought this up in our group chat. But
time out. Wait, Jay. There's no buyout from when you're not working. Are you sure?
It's moving expenses. A $3,000, U-Haul. Exactly. 2 guys in a truck. Yeah, exactly. Credit.
Oh shit! Yeah, because if you got to stay for at least a year to get that money back.
Right.
And you have to do it up front. You have to pay for 3 guys on a truck up front yourself.
It's like in what was it's like in Moneyball where they asked to stock the vending machines. Vending machines, yeah, exactly, for 3 years. Like, we're gonna have to throw in something like that. I mean, the other thing that Michael brought up was that these were described midway through the season when Graham Harrell was fired. It was described that Purdue would bring on like a all-star list with coaching experience.
Nope, superstar list
with coaching experience. None of them have even play calling experience. Yurcich does, but the other 2 with Purdue connections, like Boiler Dowd said, they're offensive coordinators, but they don't have play calling experience. Like, they have minimal or as much, play calling experience as Walters does. Sorry, say it again, Jay.
Who's calling the plays? DeBoer?
Yeah, DeBoer. Yeah, he's like a Brom. Like, he's in the Brom kind of like vein of coaches. Yeah,
maybe that's the problem at Alabama, because I 2 weeks ago I heard Walter say he'd figured out why it hadn't been the best couple games, because he's been calling the plays. Right. You gotta separate yourself from the X and O's, and so that's what DeBoer needs to do, and then it'll be Fat City in Alabama.
Exactly.
Free. I don't know that.
You're welcome, Alabama. I just figured it out.
Exactly. We'll take him if Alabama wants to fire him. I'll take him.
The best thing of me saying, Alabama needs to fire DeBoer right now, and then people coming in from Alabama, I guess they just do searches.
Yeah.
Fire DeBoer. And then they're like, "You're an idiot." And I'm like, "You jackass. Do you understand context? Look at who's talking. I want him fired so we can come, we can grab him.
Oh, you're looking
we want to hug him. We like him.
I think you'll see plenty of Alabama fans turning on him. That's already happening. For
right.
Sure.
Oh, yeah.
Sure. I mean, they haven't had, it's been since 2007. They've been in bliss since 2007. Yeah.
I mean,
it's like a generation,
bliss.
man.
It's not even,
no,
I don't even know what you'd call it. They've been, this better than bliss.
It's the greatest stretch of college football ever. And Georgia now is the only thing that can probably.
You could be 25. You could be out of college for several years now, and you've never had a memory of anything but sheer dominance.
That's absurd. That's
so dumb. You would have been 8 when that started.
It's like the dominant streak that Purdue basketball is about to go down. And so by the time Jay Money, your son, graduates from Purdue, then it's
any room for any more banners.
Yeah, exactly.
If you win a national title like in the next few years, do you put up the banner the same size as the 1932 one?
No,
or
triple the size.
Dude, yeah.
You
triple the 32 size?
Yeah.
Because now you get. I agree.
You just make the court a championship banner.
That's right.
Of 1932. Michael would like the 32 to be more focused on, right?
He doesn't want that overshadowed. Yeah, correct.
No, he thinks it's great. He loves that 1932 banner.
He does.
You could rename Mackey Arena for the Helms
Championship Mackey
Arena. Yeah, exactly.
I love it.
The other point is that, so first, like, my conspiracy theory is that these are fake names. these aren't real. And
I think one's real. I think one's real.
Maybe, but I think that they're just trying to keep focus on the game. They don't want to talk to the reason that they haven't talked to, like the reason that nobody from the athletic department has talked directly either to the media or to the public is that like I think that they've already made up their mind. The reason that Walters was so emotional is that they've already made up their mind. But I think that it's that he's gone.
Okay. But I have a question.
I understand the opposite. Yes.
Then
in the back.
If
why I can't get over.
If you've already made up your mind and you're 110, why don't you just say it? Put him out of his misery. Or if you're bringing him back, and everyone just calm down a second. If you were bringing him back and he's your guy and you want to stand behind him, why would you be embarrassed to say that?
That latter point is the reason why I think that the decision's already made.
You think he's gone, yeah.
Because otherwise...
Because you would at this point. You'd say, guys, stop it. He's coming back.
Absolutely. And the way Mike Babinski usually operates is that he is that kind of a... If he's made
this is my decision.
Yeah, exactly. He understands that he can have a reassuring presence, and he is also just saying, like, he can also then take a lot of the heat off of Walters and then just say, like...
If he wanted to.
Yeah, exactly. And so to me, I think, and there was a reason, again, that Walters was so emotional after this one.
Don't you agree that's shitty, though, to do it this way? If the decision is made, isn't it also shitty to do it this way?
I mean, it's just a bad situation.
It is, but isn't it more humane to say we've made a decision and this is going to be his last game? Is that more embarrassing or less? I think it's less.
It's a little more embarrassing, but to me, I would also say that they shouldn't have put out all of these rumors. They shouldn't have kind of mixed the rumors here, right? Like even floating out these trial balloons is a big source of exactly. Like I don't.
It's the weirdest. We've all been Purdue fans for a long time. Just, how long is the question? Anish, you're very old compared to many of the current students who love to listen to Boyle.
Yes.
And then Jay and I are a year or two older.
Yeah.
But I've never seen a tact like this. I can't figure out why you would do this. I don't understand. To me, it's like, okay, if he's on the way out, which sure as hell feels like it, you say, hey, it didn't go away with. He's going to be here for the bucket game, and then that'll be his last game or something. You just have some press release. Very simple.
We've
seen teams do that many times. This isn't unusual.
You did it with hope with 3 games to go.
I don't think Purdue operates that way, though. Purdue has never operated that way, right?
No, not never.
Jim Coletto.
Well, Danny Hope, but Danny Hope is a different. Yeah, I don't know. Danny Hope is a different case in many cases, right? But to me, the thing that is throwing me off is
I got another one.
Trial balloons.
Leon Burtonette. I think they knew he was done when it was coming to the Oklahoma.
Maybe they learned from the Hope situation because they said that, and then he won 3 straight to go from 3-6 to 6-6. So they went to a bowl,
and then he went to the bowl.
As
he watched from the stands.
He was in the stands. Oh, Danny.
I love Danny Hope, man.
Yeah, he's like a folk hero. He really is. He lived the dream.
He did. He lived our dream.
Right?
Nobody was happier than him. To be
yes, the whole thing.
We used to talk about how goofy he'd be smiling even after losses. He'd be like, I can't believe all these people.
I can't believe you guys are here to see me. This is such an honor. Thank you all. Like us at a surprise birthday party. Oh my gosh! Thank you guys.
Wearing the whistle at games.
I'm a coach.
Part of my
see what it says right here. It says coach, and it says it on my headphones too. And that's how you know. Whistle, coach.
Was he the one we used to say, or was it Hazel that we used to speculate he was just listening to music? I can't remember. One of them, that was one of our bits.
I think it was Hope. I mean,
exactly.
He was probably rocking out too. It's got to be some 70s classic rock, dude.
You absolutely know that it's some hair metal, for Danny Hope.
Okay, all right. I like that era.
For Daryl Hazel, it is
it was like
gentle
symphonic.
Jazz.
Yeah.
Like Christopher Cross.
Exactly.
Oh shoot.
Oh, all right.
So Purdue is losing this weekend. I don't think we have to ask for predictors.
I mean, somebody in the margin disagrees, so that's you heard it for.
It would be. This is the funniest outcome.
It would be the funniest possible bucket win ever if Purdue were able to ruin this for IU. And I'm not going to say it would make everything worth it, but man,
no. Here's what's the funniest possible outcome. Here it is. Ready?
Okay, I'm ready.
Because you're missing a key element. Purdue beats IU and he still gets fired on Sunday. Now that right there would be like, oh my gosh, my head would just.
So I was going to say this. What is
that'd be great.
What's the best possible weekend we could have? What is the expected weekend that we will have, and what's the worst possible weekend that we can have? Let's start with the.
You know the answers,
but I think that but we got to say it for the people. The best possible outcome is exactly what Boiler said. That is the
3-0, and the coaching search has started on Sunday, right?
Already,
and I say 3-0, 2-0 in basketball, 1-0 in football, and on Sunday there's an announcement that they've begun a coaching search.
And by Monday, Jamie Chadwell has already been announced as.
Oh my gosh!
You would re-up your tickets.
Oh my gosh! I would. Minute. Oh my gosh!
And send a check to.
Because I told you guys when I started talking about this way too long ago, right? There were two guys that were the apple of my eye, and you guys still think I'm
because people were asking at the beginning of the show if we were going to do it. So go ahead and say your two.
I don't want to do this. I mean, I've done it already once. I feel bad about it. We don't even. Here's the thing. I've already been fooled once, and then I'm getting fooled by Babinski and going through this exercise and being like, yeah, this is going to be fun, a coaching search. Hey, I made a list. These guys have won this many games. Guess what? Guess who my favoriteest coach in the whole Americas is? You want to hear? Come closer.
I like this new character. This new character is one of my
This new character is me making fun of my dumb ass. That's the voice in my head telling me to say stupid things. It's not an evil thing. Hey, Boiler Down, come here. Try this one. You'll love this. Tell all the people this thing.
One of my favorite clips I've always saved was when you made fun of the Big Ten Network. And hey, you said they make me look like a rube when they were like, when the Big Ten Network came out and they were like, call your cable provider and tell them you want the Big Ten. And you were
like, I fell for it.
You're like, I would like the Big Ten Network.
And please, may I have it? I hear all of my Purdue games will be on. Thank you very much.
And as soon as he gets it, they're like, nope, this one's not.
Hey, guess what? Big Ten Network Plus is where you're gonna find your Boilers tonight. You a-holes. Okay, here's $10. I'll do it this once. No, doesn't work. Okay, next year. Here's my money again. Just this once because I really want to see Purdue play Central Michigan. Here's my $10. No, a-hole, you're not going to get to watch it because Big Ten Network Minus is the worst service you've ever had, and you dumbass have paid an extra $20 to us. I will never do it again. Never.
Lies and deceit.
No, he
lies and deceit. Yeah.
Oh, I thought you meant he was lying that he would pay for it again. No, he won't pay for it again.
I won't pay for it again. Yeah.
Once he decides these things, he has decided that he pays for cock. Peacock.
Yes.
The cock.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
We love it. Yeah.
He loves to hop on the cock on a Friday.
I do, man. I love the cock.
It's the best service that's available.
Yeah. It is good. I mean, you do like
production value is very good. I know there are a lot of people that disagree with me about the cock, but I love it. Why do we have to go there, Jay?
I'm just talking about what you like.
I do.
So yes.
Because Collinsworth's son's on the cock.
Oh, he's good. He's good. He earned it too. That's what I like about it.
Yeah, exactly.
Jack Collinsworth earned his place calling primetime, being on Sunday Night Football.
Exactly. Gosh.
26 or whatever he got that job at. Totally legit.
I remember the first time I saw him, I was like, dang it, that looks a lot like Collinsworth. No kidding. Dummy.
Spawn, who also doesn't know how to spell his name.
Yeah.
Both weirdos about how they spell their names.
Exactly.
Like, do something original,
just to keep you on edge. No, that's the thing. If you look them up in the white pages, because kids still do that, then you if you spell it the right way, you'll never find them. That's what they've done. See, that's like they don't have to, not publish their name. Their real name is just slightly different, just ever so different. You'll never guess it.
Meritocracy.
So the worst possible weekend that we can have, we already know this.
Rein us in.
Is that
Purdue
a 70-point loss and
he comes back.
Yes.
If that happens, I think there will be so many people that say, no, I'm not getting tickets. And I think that I can't imagine that level of fan dissatisfaction. If that level of fan dissatisfaction has no impact, then they've decided they don't care anymore. And we're back. We're literally back to ground zero, I think. You're back to pre-Brom. You're back to that because they don't think that because they had 60,000 people a game there. And maybe it won't be 8,000 next year, right? It'll be 30. be half. Half is a huge drop.
Huge.
And 30,000 is still more than I think they were getting for Hazel games. So I just don't think it's going to drop to 18 from 60.
No. There'll be a gradual fall off.
But what worries me about this is what if
losing 20,000 seats though is that's a hit, man. That's a huge.
What if next year? I said this to you guys. Okay, they bring them back and they bring in different coordinators, and you look at next year's schedule. They got a couple of early patsies on the schedule, and they go out and they win 3 games next year. Now, because of 1-11,
pressure's on, yeah.
Because of 1-11 being not enough to get fired, what do you have to do? 0-12? Then, guys, somebody on Twitter said to me,
"That's the best thing. What you just said is so good."
Well, I had somebody on Twitter say to me,
"What's fireable?"
He said to me something like, 2 years is just not enough time. And I replied to him and said what Anish pointed out. I said, they have lost more games consecutively than any Purdue team ever in history, and they're lining up the 3rd 1-win season in 80 years. So what more do you need to see? Tell me what else do you have to do?
To that point, I did some research, actually. So over the last 15 years,
yes,
these are the coaches. There have been exactly 10 coaches that have even a little bit recovered after a winless conference season. Mm-hmm. All right, so not just 1 win, but like a winless conference. Mm-hmm. Like that is what we're going with.
In any Power 5, or can they be lesser?
These are Power 5. These are Power 5 teams, right? So in their first season, 5 of them are in their first seasons, and 5 of them are later. So we're going to throw the first seasons out, but I'll still read them to you here. In their first seasons, Lovie Smith at Illinois, Brett Bielema at Arkansas, Mark Stoops at Kentucky, which is a surprising one, Sonny Dykes at Cal, and Kevin Wilson at IU, all went winless in their first season in the last 15
First season. I think that matters.
Exactly.
Can I throw something in there? Yeah. Every one of those guys had a hell of a lot more coaching experience to draw on.
That's correct.
So they had some bag of tricks to reach into and say, okay, here's what you do to pull out of this. Guys, I can figure this out. I've coached before. I think every one of them had been a head coach. Maybe not Wilson at that point. No, he had been. He'd been a lower division coach.
He was, exactly. He had some lower level.
Sonny Dykes had been a coach.
And everybody else.
Lovey had a lot of. Lovey'd been to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Yes. God.
But come on, he took the Bears to the Super Bowl. So
so the ones that
Bielema was at Arkansas, which was in a bad way when they got him away from Wisconsin, where he'd been very good. So these aren't comparable, but go on. Yes,
exactly.
Okay.
So the other 5, there are some names that are a little bit closer here. So the other 5 winless conference seasons, not in their first year. All right.
Okay.
Clark Lee at Vandy, Steve Adazio at Boston College, Troy Calhoun at Air Force, future Purdue candidate, Mike London.
Current, future, always Purdue candidate.
Mike London at UVA.
Good day, mate.
And Gene Chizik at Auburn. Now, all of them went winless.
Gene had a winless conference season?
They went winless in their conference at some point outside of their first year and recovered for
came back the
2
next
more
year.
seasons, at least a decent kind of recovery. I think the only comparable one there is Clark Lee, who was a very good defensive coordinator.
You've kind of got a love affair with this guy.
I
think I want you to tell everybody how much you love Clark Lee.
Exactly. I love Vandy, man. Black and gold.
Exactly. I understand.
But my point is that what in Walter's approach or the staff building or something shows you that he is going to be one of those. Point to something at the very least. Maybe my only argument before was he's a very good recruiter and let him pull the recruits again. Well, a lot of them have left, and that's the other reason, which is why if Babinski was going to keep him, this is the worst way to keep him because he's lost all of the recruits because they all think he's going to be fired anyway.
Right.
So it's like. That is part of why I'm leaning towards the fact that regardless of all these trial balloons that he's fired.
And current guys are going to leave. The talent they have right now is going to go.
I mean, Claire. Yeah.
Gosh darn it. That's the thing. A future Purdue team, man. I don't even want to say the names, but I've already thought about all.
We can talk about this next week because we will know. Like, regardless, we will know. But to me, like, there are only 10 coaches in the last 15 years that have recovered from this, and most of that list is fired right now. So even if they recovered, they didn't recover for very long.
No, right.
And
I would think. Okay, tell me if you guys think I'm overestimating the importance of this part of the fact. It's a spinoff what we're talking about. But I would think the instability of the program would have the attention of Babinski in itself. The fact that the personnel turnover is so great, and Purdue says they don't want to be a part of that type of thing. Right?
What do you mean? The personnel, like
the player.
Every year you have 25 guys leave now. This will be the third straight year.
Yeah, but I think that's pretty normal now, don't you think? You think they're an outlier?
No. It's really not. Well, it's normal for teams that are like IU had this problem under Tom Allen, yet in disarray. Yeah. And so I would think Babinski's not a dodo. I mean, gosh, I keep saying that, but then I get these.
It's like, to me,
I get these trending reports, and then I think maybe he is. I know I've talked to the man multiple times in person, impressed, but maybe he is. Why would he want to fool me? I'm not kidding.
That's exactly. No,
I'm just one dude, but why would he want to fool me up here? Because I've been the guy defending him for 2/3 of the season, and all of a sudden I don't feel like I can do it anymore. Because I'm like, no athletic department with their wits about them would say that.
Yeah. No athletic department with their wits about them would go about it this way. If you're going to keep him, you knew that you were going to keep him 3 weeks ago. Why didn't you announce it then so that he could circle the wagons with recruits?
Yeah.
That to me is the biggest indication that either they have already made the decision to fire him, or this is a completely unserious program. And either way, I don't know. We'll find out in a week. What do you think? I think I've already said what I think. So we've outlined the best and worst possible weekend we can have. And Purdue loses their first game of the tournament. Is a basketball loses.
What time's tip off about for that game?
I think it's is it 4 or is it a later one?
That's early out there, right?
Yeah.
What are we talking about on Thursday?
Basketball.
NC State game.
Oh, so
I think it's at 4, 3 or 4.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, it's in the afternoon. I know because it's at the time we were targeting eating on Thursday. So
that's what
Awesome.
Yeah.
Just have it on in the background. You don't have to talk to your family.
We're a 1 o'clock.
I know you are. We've had this. How have we not talked about Thanksgiving? So what I always love is we get a picture from you. There's 2 observations I always make. Number 1, you're doing the turkey really early, and you're always like, we eat it 1 o'clock. I'm like, all right, I'm just commenting that you're cooking awfully early, as it looks like to me. And the other comment I have is you have your stock pot on the ground, basically. You need something you need it a little higher up to make life easier for yourself.
What do you mean? I'm sorry, I don't have it.
Why can't I get my? There I go.
When you're frying.
You deep fry, correct?
Deep fry. Yeah. So this year I'm doubling up. We got a deep fryer and a smoked turkey going.
What
do you call it? Is it called spatchcocking? What's he
spatchcocking?
Spatchcocking.
Oh, I'm a big spatchcocker, brother.
So I've never done it before. I watched a video and I'm terrified of the noises because I'm that much of a wimp. And then I have to rip the spine out of the damn thing.
The spine is the hardest part of this, but it is so good, man. It
you like the spatchcock?
That's so good. I'm a big spatchcocker.
He's a big spatchcock guy.
Yep. Big spatchcock. That's what they call me.
It is. That's what. Yeah.
Be on the lookout for Anisha's power rankings.
As always,
power rankings.
Of course. Thanksgiving power rankings. I can't wait. Can't wait for cornbread this year.
The one thing I'll share.
Wait, time out. I want to hear about the cornbread. So cornbread to me can go either way. It can go really bad really quickly. So is this more like a corn casserole or is it cornbread?
So, I'm glad you asked. So this is it's a little bit. So it's kind of broiled at the top. So it's got a little bit of a texture.
Crunch. I like this. We're starting right.
It's a little softer in here. So imagine the consistency of a nice chewy brownie, that is crispy at the top.
How much butters are in this?
Oh, don't worry about
all
that.
The butter.
Brother. Oh, don't worry about that. But here is the thing. You put chorizo inside. So it's chorizo cornbread that is that crunchy, soft consistency, that sweet, that spicy, the gooey, the crispy. Oh, this is I love it so much.
So you brown your chorizo first, right?
Oh yes. Oh, so
the thing, what what I'm mixing up this year.
I'm 5 years old. Why is all this funny to me every time I say the wrong? Gosh, I'm an idiot.
Because we're hosting, and I love mashed potatoes. However, the thing with mashed potatoes is when you really work to get them creamy and whipped, you always have to like heat them back up, right? Because by the time you get done with that, they're not hot anymore.
Yep.
So I'm making a mashed potato casserole.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm so excited about it.
Have you done it before? Have you done it before?
Nope. I'm gambling.
Okay.
But
no, that's okay.
You can
when
make
are you going to make a mashed potato casserole the rest of the year?
But it's not anything. Right? It's not anything like gross mixed into it. It's
right.
basically like mashed potatoes, but on top you've got breadcrumbs and a little. You kind of brown the top a little bit. You got
how many sticks of butter? Again,
all of
several.
Them. Many sticks.
We've got pounds, so we're going to use them.
I have so much butter here because I make cookies. I make my Christmas cookies. At least first time we have them.
You do it this week.
I'm going to make them because everyone wants them for dessert on Thanksgiving. So I've had the request already to make them. And I deep fry the turkey. And I'm doing the mashed potato casserole. Family's bringing over a couple other things. My mom makes a sweet potato dish that my wife loves. So it's
you don't do that. Do you do whipped cream or what do you call it?
Marshmallows? No, she doesn't do that.
I
never quite understood that.
I don't get that. I hate marshmallows.
I don't love marshmallows. I wouldn't not eat it, but I've never quite gotten that. I think there's so many ways to make it good. My mother does it with pineapple in it, and Melissa loves it. Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah. I'm furrowed. My brow is furrowed there. That's where you lost me. I'm here with the casserole though, the mashed potato casserole.
I'm very excited for this.
Yeah,
that might be a good.
Some chives. We have some chives in there.
Yep.
All right.
Of course, you got to have chives, man.
Nice.
Yep. I'm very excited about it. It's.
Is there any pre-browning happening of any of the ingredients, or do you not do that before you?
No, I don't think so. But it's the first time I've made it.
I usually
you keep the skins on.
Onion.
I don't.
I like an onion.
I peel the skins.
Okay.
I don't like skins.
I got two.
I like skins on the potato.
I got two separate potatoes, which is you could do the creamy mashed, or you could do the red smashed potatoes with big chunks of onion and garlic and stuff like that in it. Oh, brother.
Yeah. So here's the thing. This is a weird thing. So you look at me and you wouldn't know it, but generally I do not like Thanksgiving food. It's just not.
I mean, like I disagree, but I understand.
Right. It's a weird thing. Like I have a plate and I'm like, okay, I'm good. I don't need to go back for seconds.
Did you guys know there was like a thing? I just heard this on a radio show I listened to like a year ago, and then I saw it in an article this week. Did you know that people have made a habit of having lasagna on Thanksgiving?
That's absurd. That's absurd.
Have you not?
Again, not that I typically don't.
I think
I don't draw lines where like Thanksgiving food is
eat what you want to eat, right?
Exactly. Like I'm good if you make something good and it's hearty and it brings everybody together. That's great.
I will give thanks.
For some reason, lasagna just strikes me as.
I love it. But that doesn't feel like a Thanksgiving thing. My mom used to make it for Christmas dinner, and that's what I associate it with. But
it's better for Christmas dinner, I think.
So they say the Pilgrims were eating
Stovers.
No. It was seafood. It's all seafood.
Oh yeah.
And so that's I couldn't do that because I really don't like seafood unless I'm eating. They were on the coast, so that's. I was
gonna say
better than where I am.
I've heard of people out in Maryland, like the DC area, that do the
crab cakes?
seafood. Yeah,
dude,
ones. I would
we should just do
crab
a full
cake
handsome hour. We should do a full handsome hour on food.
I'm so hungry now.
I am. I could
I'm not kidding. It's bad. I ate one meal today. That's a problem for a guy like me. You can't do that. You got to keep.
Speaking of meals,
keep fueling
Speaking of meals, when you're on campus.
Where do
you go for a meal?
Dude, I can tell you right now, I would smash
pretzels
right now. And I would, oh gosh.
Only an hour away. It's only an hour away.
I may eat lunch there tomorrow. All kidding aside. I have a pickup, and I'm not sure. It might be a late lunch. I'm not sure yet. I haven't talked to Adam yet about possibly coming by. But I've been waiting to go there for weeks because every week I'm either too angry or I'm with a bunch of people who are just like, let's just leave town. I don't want to be here anymore. So they're angry. I'm angry. Something. We just leave.
The classic Dowd clan.
Right. Exactly. You guys been a part of it. They're gone. What the heck? They're not here anymore.
So mad. They don't want to enjoy anything.
Exactly. They don't want to enjoy anything. We're already angry. Everyone should be angry. We leave. Oh, it's so bad. When I'm this hungry right now, I want to go to AJ's. I want to leave. I want to leave Rossade. I want to sprint to the fire station, turn left, be welcomed by the warm arms of Adam. Just tell me it's okay, friend. You're among
Hugs
friends.
all around. Hugs all around.
Hug, and then he'd sit me right down in a booth, and maybe I'd get a pint. And then at the bottom, it'd have a Boiled Sports logo. Just and then I'd say, okay, maybe give me another pint. And
right, cover that up.
exactly. Yeah. So yes, go to AJ's. EatAJ's.com.
AJ's mac and cheese bites as a side for Thanksgiving. Are you kidding me?
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh.
See, here's the thing. Fairweather Greg said something a minute ago about Hatch chili mac and cheese, and it almost made me start chewing on my hand. So hungry right now, guys. So hungry.
Somebody had a good one in here. They said, some dude I know refuses to eat any Thanksgiving food and makes his family make him spaghetti while they all ate Thanksgiving. That's like
childish behavior.
This is exactly.
If you came to my house, I'd say, well, I guess you're going to be hungry because there's so much fucking food out.
Exactly.
You won't eat any of it?
There's something you can eat there.
That's right. This is a Larry.
Rudy Ray Moore says something. I don't even know what that is. I don't even know what he's talking about.
Ordering pizza.
No.
It's sorry.
Another comment. It just doesn't even make sense. I don't
What's
even know.
Triple X when you're near campus? I don't.
Is this an adult?
Yeah,
something?
I don't know.
I don't know. Sorry.
This is a kid-friendly program.
Yeah, come on.
We try to
come on, Rudy. We don't do
Let's
that.
not. Yeah, we don't need.
Yeah.
The only establishment that we go to is AJ's. And what do we wear? J Money. What do we wear?
No pants generally when I go to AJ's.
Actually,
Wait,
I have on home field pants and a shirt tonight.
Oh,
and
buddy.
you see I'm representing my potential Big 12 champ, Arizona State, Forkies. What are they? The Sun Devils.
The Tridents.
Yeah, Fear the
Kenny
Fork.
Dillingham lost his marbles at the end of
That's your
that
boy.
one. Gracious, that's one of my dudes.
That's at Home Field Apparel, and are boiled 25 at checkout. And
Yeah, but check out their Twitter feed right now. You can get 30% off. I'm not gonna tell my people to lose.
Black Friday, right?
Yeah, go get that. I don't know what the code is. I should have memorized.
Don't worry about it. It'll be on the site.
The thing is, sometimes they put out those mystery boxes, and we're all gonna buy one eventually. Like I think J Money's already got one. I can't wait for J Money to get another one and Nebraska to be in there because the gods are listening.
I don't know how many more times I'm going to do that. I did all right. I got a UCLA one once, which is fine, and I got a.
But you did
Maryland.
order a mystery pack? You did do it?
Twice. I've done it.
I'm going to, yes, also, but I've never
got
done
Maryland
it. J
one.
Money's done it.
I was like,
See, I'm really worried about getting like some stupid IU thing.
right.
Really, really worried about it.
Yes.
I don't want that. I don't want that bad juju in my house.
Correct.
Fires always need kindling.
It's true.
High quality kindling at Homefield
It is high quality kindling.
It's delightful. I've got it as my base layer right now under my
I
space.
I'm trying to think. I don't think I couldn't wear a Notre Dame shirt. I couldn't wear an IU shirt.
Ohio State. Those are really the
Couldn't wear Ohio State. Yeah.
Those are the three to me that if I got any of those, that'd be a disaster.
What were your three, Anish? IU, Ohio State, and what?
IU, Ohio State, and Notre Dame. Those are the.
I hate everybody, so there'd be a lot more than that. I'm gonna be real honest.
And my boss, I like my boss. He's a Notre Dame grad, and he's got 4 Notre Dame kids. I just give that shirt to him.
Yeah, that's a nice thing.
Exactly.
That's making lemonade right there.
I to say stuff like, "What if our son went to one of the?" It's. I mean, I wouldn't remember when Glenn Robinson's son went to Michigan, and never once did Glenn Robinson wear a Michigan apparel.
Right.
He'd wear a navy blue long sleeve tee.
There was no house divided. You don't think he was flying a house divided?
I respected the hell out of that. That was him being like, "I love my son. I will be here to support him, and I'm not wearing this."
Exactly.
Disgusting.
It's not that complicated, is it? Like, I mean, I loved it. Loved every bit.
Shout out to Homefield.
The only difference is many of us, though, if our kids decide to go to a horrible school, is you're going to be paying at least part of that horrible
But
school.
that doesn't make me want to wear it more.
No, it doesn't. But you just kind of like, maybe it makes you feel like, okay, yeah, at least I'm one of the good cause. I don't know.
There should be a discount if you send your kid to the rival school. Yeah. There should be a hateful discount. Right?
Right.
Like it's like you're overcoming hate.
We understand.
There's a lot of hate these days, and you're overcoming.
Mostly coming from my house.
Exactly.
And from my office.
Yes. So during Hate Week, let's do it. So I gave my prediction. Butler Dowd, what do you think's going to happen this weekend?
I think Purdue goes 1-2, and
1-2.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think 1-2.
You think Painter's going to lose 2 games this weekend?
Exactly. I think Purdue goes 1-2, and I think we sweat a little bit on Sunday. We don't hear about an announcement till like
4 p.m.
that there's going to be something.
And what's that something? You got to say it.
I think he's gone.
Yeah.
I don't know how they can bring him back. I really don't. All these measurables, like let's just use just logic here again. They can't do that. They can't do that. They can't. They won't do that. I have faith they won't do that. How about that? I have faith they won't do that. So I'm going to feel really angry.
The remains of your faith right here. This is
I know.
remains.
I told you. I told you.
What do you think is going to happen this week?
Let me first just say, I say this every year. I love this week for college football. You guys know I'm a college football junkie, and I love this week because there's so much. I love sports hate, real sports hate, and that's going away with the new era. Like it's been going away with the schools changing conferences and like Kansas and Missouri not playing anymore, and Texas A&M playing this weekend for the first time in what, like 5 or 6 years or something. So that's already been going away. But man, I love that stuff. I love the genuine dislike that really exists in college. So even when Purdue's this bad,
like Signetti feels about Purdue.
Well, I felt this way even when Purdue's been really bad playing against a decent IU. I've thought, okay, doesn't matter. This week, this still all Purdue. Still will not. I don't want Purdue to lose. They put that out there. I do not want Purdue to lose this weekend. I don't care. I'm not one of those people that's like, no, I just need him to be gone. He should be gone regardless.
Right.
It
shouldn't matter. It shouldn't matter.
It doesn't matter. And these players have shown heart, and I don't want them to be embarrassed. How about that? I don't want them to go out that way.
Yep.
So, in a year of just shitty things, if guys like us, Hartwig, can go out with a win, that'd be so amazing, and I'd be so full of happiness. But what I think is going to happen, no, I think Purdue's going to get absolutely just trucked, and I think I'm with you guys. I don't see a path forward with Walters. I just don't see how. I don't get it. I don't get how you can be historically.
I keep asking, where's my positive indicator?
Right,
Give me one.
Right.
Give me one.
Your best indicators this year are 2 competitive second halves, three competitive second halves, I guess. Right? You outscored a team in 3 different second halves, but to your point earlier, in every case, overcoming a more than 2 touchdown deficit, which is hard. Statistically, if you look at any team, any program, if you trail by more than 2 touchdowns, your winning percentage is really low, right? No matter how good you are.
How about every game being that far down? Every game.
Well, so I mean, the best possible games they've had have been clawing back from a deficit that they shouldn't have been in to begin with. So, like, you can't even look at those games like positives, can you? I mean, you can, I guess, because you've got nothing else. Yeah. But they've lost every way you can. Historical blowouts, surprise blowouts, Wisconsin, right?
Yeah.
Painful comeback losses when you did have the lead. They had the lead in the end against Illinois with a minute to go and lost. The weird overtime against a bad Northwestern. You've lost every way you can. Right. And of course, just more bludgeonings and shutouts. And there's nothing more to see. Right? There's nothing else. There's no other way they can lose. The only thing left is to get beaten in a historical fashion by your rival. Now, this will probably be the worst. You'll have to go back 70 years to find a worse blowout, I think. Back when there were games that were like 68-0 because, there were loggers playing and, like
guys making boilers. They were brought in.
Right. Like, and the other team just had a bunch of midgets or something. That they
right. It was me and my family.
By the way, to J Money, to your point, Diener has kept this stat throughout the year. Another first quarter in the books. This is from the game last Saturday. The current running aggregate first quarter score for 2024.
This is Carmen, right? Didn't Carmen do this?
Diener did this, actually.
Wow.
Opponents, 97, Purdue 13. Yeah.
Give me that one more time. Sorry. Give me that one more time for a trending coach.
Another first quarter in the books. The current running aggregate first quarter score for 2024. Opponents 97 and Purdue 13.
By the way, I think that includes the Indiana State game.
That is, yeah.
That is unreal.
So to me, it's like you're digging a hole like this. It's like, there are no positive indicators. And so to me, I think I agree. I think we're 3 for 3 here. So we'll come back next Monday, and we definitely won't be talking about a coaching search, I guess, because we're never, when we're in unison like this, it never works out. But we'll see. Yep, that's it.
Here's the thing. Here's the other thing. Everybody who hates Purdue wants Walters back.
Oh yeah,
that should be some sort of indicator. Sure. I would think. Give him more time. How many funny people? The first never heard it. Give him more time. I think he deserves an extension. Yeah, funny. We like it. We think this is great.
Yeah. So it's
thanks for jumping in this thread.
I think we've the criticism so far that I think that is stuck to Babinski right now is that if they are keeping him, this is the worst possible way to keep him.
Yeah.
Everything else, I think we can wait until Sunday to have these definitive statements. That being said, if it goes the way these trial balloons are going, we'll be back Monday or maybe Sunday for a little bit of a more fiery hour than usual. So, any last words, Boiler Doubter, James?
I was scrolling down this is an important question. I was scrolling down here and Matt had a comment about jammy pants on Thanksgiving. I thought that was interesting because have you completely given up, Matt? That's the first thing.
Have some self-respect, my
yeah, have some self-respect, my man. So what's the typical uniform at Ramaswamy household and J Money house? What do you typically is it Sunday best? Is it something showing a little skin? I mean, you guys can do it. I know that. What's the uniform? What's accepted? What's
capri pants and a tight long sleeve. It's actually the baseball long sleeve, the baseball Purdue home field one. That's a little tight.
Capri pants.
Clam diggers. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I usually
all pants are clam diggers when you have it didn't seem like niche.
I've got these swishy pants. But they look like real pants, they button up like jeans. But
you got
like
the stretchy waist
materials. Kind of. They don't have stretchy waist, but they're nice and they're not uncomfortable, but they look very nice. And then I do like a hoodie or a sweatshirt or something.
A hoodie? Okay. Come on, put a button up on. Dress it up a little.
No,
it's a button down, but it's
no, it is not.
I know we've talked about this.
A button up is what you wear, and a button down is the ones that button on the collar. Michael Henry taught me that.
They're the same. They're the same damn shirt for me because I got class. Okay. What do you wear, Jay? What do you wear?
Is that why they're called a button down?
That's what he says.
Okay.
I think it's bullcrap.
I think I validated it because I don't usually just give in.
I don't listen to what Michael says ever.
Yeah, Michael's never worn a button down or a button up in his life, so I don't know why. Unless it's a flannel.
He wears a stained Budweiser T-shirt generally.
That's it. Yeah. Yes, exactly. So, Bush heavy.
Who knows what the stain is? But
yes,
you don't want to mention it.
So not like a hoodie like this or a sweatshirt like it, but like a nice sweatshirt.
Oh, like a dressy hoodie.
Like a nice sweatshirt.
I've actually got like 5 dressy hoodies, no graphics or anything. Hoodies, so yeah,
yes.
I got a couple of those. Yes. I do. But
Jay Money, you're wearing the 3-piece, aren't you?
Now, you probably have an ascot. I would think you got an ascot for Thanksgiving. Class it up.
Your ascot, I do.
It puts the ass in ascot.
That's enough.
What do you wear? What do you wear for Thanksgiving?
I answered that already. I said you put on a button, and you got it.
That's it. No pants.
No pants.
Just a button up.
At all.
Okay, that's good. Now it's a a
basketball shorts. Basketball shorts and.
Well, the worst thing is, worst thing is, I'm frying turkeys, and my dad is always he's the one who knows. He's really good at frying turkey. Really, I mean, he's fried hundreds of them. I've said this before. He used to do it for charity. It's amazing. So he's really good at it. And he and I fried turkey. And this year I'll be smoking turkey and frying a turkey, doing double. But sometimes people start coming because, like you said, why are you starting so early? Because we want to get the bird cooked, right? If you got like 23, 24 pound turkey, take some time. Okay. But I'll wear like an old crappy sweatshirt and I've got jeans on. And sometimes like, I don't know if I can get up there and shower. People are in my house. I got to cut the bird here in a half hour, 40 minutes, right? The thing rested a little bit. And
that's not
usually want to give it 45 minutes.
You got a lot of prettying up to do.
Yeah. This hair doesn't just happen.
Right. I got to put beard conditioner in. I get it.
There's this great family picture though. We take a picture on the back deck. And everybody's out there in button up and button downs and corduroys, nice classy corduroys. And I've got a Purdue sweatshirt that's 25 years old and stained jeans. I'm the only person. I look like an absolute jackass, even more than usual.
You beat us to it.
Yeah, a lot there. So, all right. Well,
I'm thankful for you guys.
I'm really thankful for you guys. I really mean that. You guys are great.
Everyone here.
It's good therapy. Thanks everyone for being here. You hundreds of sickos.
Meisterburger says like dress shirt and cardigan. I like that idea actually. A little cardigan sweater action. I think that
you do that. You probably should have a pipe or something. You know, like you're.
I have a cardigan in my closet right now that I wear sometimes to teach class because I teach like in January, February.
Completes the look.
Oh yeah,
Professor
it's so
Anish.
good, man. It's so good.
You always have a goblet of something in your hand if you're going to do that?
Correct. I have my pipe.
That's nectar.
Yes. Nice. Exactly.
I might wear I got a couple cardigan. I might wear one to Thanksgiving dinner just for you guys. Oh, it's going to be cold. It's going to be chilly here, so I think that's going to be good.
I don't think I own a cardigan. This is bad.
You got to go.
There's time.
Got to go.
There's still time. There's still time.
One solution. Head over to the most depressing place in the world, Kohl's. When you leave, you're going to want to throw a toaster in that bathtub with you. Sorry, Kohl's is the worst.
To the list of things he ate.
Gosh, it's so I would dark. Never see you go in there, the drop ceiling and the crappy lights and some unhappy person checking you out at the end. But first, you're going to wait in a 7-hour line to get your fakely priced shitty chaps shirt. It's not even Polo Ralph Lauren. It's knockoff. They're bottom of the barrel. They don't even make it so it fits like Polo. It fits like the worst shirt you've ever bought.
Oh, man.
Hey, I know B-Dowd usually wear a larger and XL, but here in this chap shirt, you're going to wear a medium or a small somehow because this thing fits like it was put on a bear, a grizzly bear. They had a big grizzly bear for their model. So,
yeah. Michael asks us all the last time we all wore ties for Thanksgiving.
Oh.
I'm not sure if I ever have.
Not Thanksgiving. That's ridiculous. I don't know why, but...
I have a Christmas-themed tie.
Because you're warm and you're eating. That's why you don't wear a tie. Your neck gets irritated. You can't do that.
I'm more likely to wear a tie to Christmas or Easter, right? Because you might go to church or something. That's more likely than Thanksgiving.
Easter?
You don't think a tie is more likely on Easter?
No, it's absolutely more. Yeah, I've worn suit. I wear suits to Easter. It's a different thing. I
wear suits to the 4th of July. So,
but it's the red, white, and blue suit.
Exactly.
With the Uncle Sam hat.
Nice.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, this is a strong finish. We brought it there.
John Reinert says he's going to be a grandfather the first time.
That's awesome. Congrats, man.
Shout out to John.
Another thing to be thankful for. That's great.
So don't worry. Put on some
amen, brother.
It's the stuff that reminds you of what's actually important. Yeah. That's you know what?
And then we come back here
great.
And we can group therapy again,
right, John? John's also in California. He said he's out in SoCal, so John's living well.
Well, I mean, like for me, there are definitely levels of SoCal. Though.
Well, for sure.
I mean, there are places that I'd be like, Chino. No, thanks. Sorry, I don't know. See, I probably just said something offensive. I didn't mean to say anything bad about Chino, guys. I love the desert. I don't. It makes my skin get dry. Beard gets brittle. All right, that's enough. Congrats, John. I'm sorry about Chino. If you're from there, that's the wrong thing to say. So, all right, guys. Been fun. Thanks to good folks at Kohl's. Just kidding. I love you.